morning, welcome to 90% Native. My name is Michelle and I have a ton of tasks to do today before a snowstorm that we're supposed to be getting tomorrow. I've taken some time off in the late fall and over the holidays, and I put aside some of the things that I really need to get done. I need to get my potting area cleaned up because I really don't want to come out and do any potting when it's such a mess. Here it is right here. I want to move that table over here. There's a refrigerator back there that my niece is taking. Like this is just a hot mess and it needs to be addressed. And then I have to plant all of the tulips that I did a big spring garden plan design video on, and I know it's January the 2nd. I have no idea if they're gonna do well or not, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in the ground and see what happens. And then I have to put a bunch of compost over top of all those beds in the cutting garden. And I never dug out my dahlias, so I think the dahlias that I have in buckets, I am just going to put them in the garage and cover them with a frost cloth. And the ones that are in the cutting garden, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with yet, so that's yet to be seen. So I'm going to go ahead and get on these tasks, and I'll keep you updated as I work through them. Okay guys, so first up is getting the tulips and the daffodils and the crocuses into the cutting garden. Well, actually I think the crocuses I might just put right beside my driveway. I think that would be pretty. But anyway, I have this whole box is full of tulips that desperately need to go in the ground. They're already sprouting. So that's my first job. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it and pull up my plan. And then I have to put the compost on the beds after I'm done. I think I have a little bit of cleanup work to do in there, but other than that, everything's ready except for the one 4x4 section that still has dahlias. I don't know what to do with those. We'll see. I'm so behind. And we're going to put these tulips in the front. So tulips, then we're gonna do red poppies, and then in the back I'm gonna do red snapdragon. Okay, so I'm done prepping the red, orange, and yellow spring beds. So I'm going to turn around and show you what it looks like before I put the compost on it. Okay, so here is the red, orange, and yellow beds. So they have daffodils, tulips, poppies, and then I will sow some snapdragons for each of those beds. So I didn't do anything to the soil in there. I just left it as is, like I do every year. And then I put a thick layer of my fall leaves down on top of each of the 4x4 sections. And now I am going to put one bag of Leaf Grow local compost down on each of those 4x4 sections, and then they will be done for the spring. I still have to do these two 4x4 beds and these two 4x4 beds, so I'll update you once that is done. As you can see, all I did was take the 3 bags of compost, one on each 4x4 section, and put them directly over the leaves. And just a reminder, I did not till the soil or dig up the soil or anything like that. I just simply put my bulbs in, put my cold hardy seeds down, put a few inches of fall leaves, and then a layer of compost. You don't need to get in there and mess with all the soil. And actually, it could probably do more harm based on a lot of things I've read recently than good. Or let me rephrase that. It would be more beneficial to the soil to actually not disturb it. So anyway, that's that. Now I am going to work on the 4 other beds that aren't done. And so these ones are the pink and purple and blue beds. I do have a couple little problems, like this front 4x4 still has my dahlias in it. I don't know if I'm gonna just like put my tulips in and my poppies in and roll the dice on the dahlias or what, but we'll see. I'll make a decision and update you. Okay, I'm back, and so I wanted to show you what I'm doing in these 2 4x4 beds. You probably noticed in the earlier video there was a clover cover crop in this back bed here that was a red crimson clover. And so what I did is I got my hula hoe, my long handled hula hoe, and I kind of went under the roots a little bit to get that clover up, and then I spread it over the entire 8x4 section. And so now I'm going to go get some fall leaves, and I'm going to put a layer of fall leaves over top of that cover crop. And then I am going to get a bag of compost for each one of the 4x4 sections, and then that will be done. Underneath that clover cover crop are the blue, gray, and purple poppies right here. And then in the front are the purple and white tulips. And back here will be blue scabiosa, and then I will sow those indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before the frost ends. Okay, you almost can't see the bed now, but it is covered with the leaves. And I forgot to mention up here in the front where the stakes are, those are where my dahlias are. So I decided I just am going to go ahead and roll the dice on the dahlias. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably want to move them because they're not in their correct place for my summer garden design, I don't think, but I'll have to double check that. Okay, the purple, blue, and gray bed is done now. And so we're supposed to get a snowstorm tonight, so a few inches of snow. So I really wanted to get this done before that happens so that the snow can push down on that compost and, just speed up all the decomposition with the fall leaves and the cover crop and the compost on top. So next up is these 2 beds, these 2 4x4 beds, and this is going to be the pink bed. Okay, so here it is, all the beds now planted with tulips, daffodils, poppies, covered with fallen leaves. Some of the beds have crimson clover, and then leaf grow compost, the local compost, 1 cubic foot over each 4x4 bed. All ready for the spring, all ready for any snow and bad weather to sit on these beds and improve the soil. So that's it for today, and hopefully tomorrow I will be able to show you the potting area all cleaned up. Okay, I'm finally done. That took me so much longer than I thought it was going to take, but the cutting garden raised beds are ready for the spring, and I also pulled in all the dahlia buckets. I should have taken the dahlia tubers out. I didn't, so I'm just going to pull them into the garage and see what happens, and roll the dice on these ones too. So they are right, let me see, there. Yep. And tomorrow I will clean my potting area. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. I figured I needed to get everything done before the snow came, because that was the most important, was to have the cutting garden ready for the snow to fall on it. And tomorrow, if it's snowing, I can work on my potting area.
Here's a quick update from after that work day prepping the spring beds. You can see the snow fell like we thought it was going to, and actually in this picture the snow has already melted quite a bit. I was also able to get a lot of work done with my potting area and get it basically cleaned up. Now I just have to go in and do all the fine details and organization. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me here at 90% Native. If this content appeals to you, please consider liking or subscribing. We will see you again next time. Thank you.